Hello Commanders, welcome to the command table. I am Mathramar and we are going to be taking you through battles 386 through 390 in the Whispering Ruins for the journey walkthrough. Before we get to that, if you would please be so kind as to like, subscribe, and if you want notifications when I drop new videos, be sure to hit that notification bell. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. Okay, so let's dive right into 386. Okay, so for this one, we have 3 sets of Faceless Knights. We've got a Death Knight hooked up to a Valkyrie, which makes no sense. We have 3 Arcane Archers, 3 groups of Assassins, 4 groups of Risen Warriors. So took kind of an unconventional approach to this one. We're just going to nuke this entire front line and make it disappear. And then we're going to have these assassins clear out the arcane archers in the back along with the Valkyrie, which will probably run forward once the arcane archers are dead right into these crystal spires. This whole other mess in the back with all the Risen Warriors and assassins, that's all going to pop up back here and converge on these freezing traps. The first one is going to catch the assassins, and the second one is going to catch all of the Risen Warriors. The trick for doing that is using these entangling roots, because it'll slow down the closest ones to it and allow the other ones that are further up and further down to close in and get within the range of that freezing trap. So that's how that's going to work. Let's go ahead and let it run. Again, don't ever do this. It's kind of dumb. All right, here we go. Yeah, the Death Knight nullifies all healing in its aura, including on itself. Okay, there went the assassins, and now almost all of the Risen Warriors get hit, and by then my assassins are back, and they're able to just zip right through. All of my assassins still trekking. Alright, that was 386. Let's move on to 387. Okay, for this one we have a lot of Wraiths, a lot of Arcane Blades, and we've got 2 Mind Corruptors. So, as I've said probably half a dozen times already, I like using Mind Corruptors. I don't like going up against them, so I'm just going to delete them since I know where they are. We've got our Assassins on this side to just remove those from the equation. We have 3 groups of Draining Spirits that this is all going to converge on, because this is going to be the first point of reference that army has to run into. So it's going to gravitate to those Plague Bearers, and everything is going to get caught in those Draining Spirits. So those 2 groups of Plague Bearers are going to hold everything in position just long enough for these Risen Warriors to pop up on the other side. That's going to suck all of this stuff back this direction. And then it's all going to have to run all the way across the map in order to get to this Arcane Archer. So by then, Frenzy should have popped, and I should be free and clear. I think there's going to be one little blip with 1 Arcane Blade that gets through, but it ends up not being a problem. Even though it's plagued, it doesn't even tag me with Plague. I think it's just a chance on hit to apply Plague or something. Either that or Arcane Blades are just less prone to apply it. Okay, so there they go. They're all getting sucked back, except for that one little plagued Arcane Archer, but he's walking slow enough to where it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, those Draining Spirits, they will shred through a lot of low HP bodies in a very short time. Okay, let's move on to 388. Okay, for this one, we have 2 Druids, we have 2 Monster Hunters, 2 Eternal Champions. Looks like 3 or 4 Druids, actually. There's 2 more right here. An Ancient Tree, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of Righteous Defenders. So my first thought was, oh, they're right up on that front line. We'll just tag a Draining Spirit onto them, and that way it'll be right on them the whole time. Then I do want to get rid of some of these healing units in the back, and hopefully that Ancient Tree. So these Assassins should clear through all of the Druids, and then maybe move on to that tree. At least that's what my thought process was. We've got these 2 bomb bots. This one's kind of covered up by a number, but 2 bomb bots that are going to run up to these Eternal Champions and delete them. And I put them way back here because I need these Eternal Champions to walk out of the range of that Ancient Tree so that they don't blow up the bombs. So they're all going to meet kind of in the middle, out of the range of the tree. Okay, this first frost trap is designed to kind of catch anything that gets ahead of things. And that'll allow the crystal spires time to clear that out. And then whatever else is left should kind of converge in one big group and come up, hit those entangling roots, and start getting worked on by the crystal spires. And then it'll all get snagged by this last freezing trap. Monster hunters have a shield that prevents them from getting hit by ranged damage unless they're incapacitated. So the freezing trap, or a stun, but the freezing trap or frost wizards don't really hit them because they deflect the ranged attack, but this is not a ranged attack from the freezing trap. So you'll notice that whichever one of the monster hunters survives ends up hitting that as well, and that makes the monster hunter vulnerable. Okay, so there goes all of the druids, and now my assassins are working on that tree. Okay, so yes, there goes the first group. They hit the thing. Now it allows everything else time to catch up, and they're all going to pop that second freezing trap, and then it's just a matter of time before they all get laser beamed to death. So yeah, there it is. All right, weather and stuff. Okay, we are done with 388. Let's move on to 389. 389. Okay, for this one, we have 3 earth elementals, 2 untamed beasts, and a whole lot of dire wolves. So a lot of very high health units. So my first thought was, okay, burn. How do we put burn in here? You could either use an Ember Fiend or a Phoenix. You could use Fire Knights, but the Untamed Beast would probably chew through them pretty quickly. All of these units are nature, so you can't turn the UBs around on their own units. So that all of these are considered friendly to the Untamed Beast. So it's all got to come forward somewhere. So we're going to have it all converge on this Phoenix with these 3 Draining Spirits attached. You'll notice my Phoenix is only level 5, nothing fancy. I think you only need 2 or 3 Phoenix drops to get there. But if it ultimately comes down to it, you could put another tanky unit there and switch out the archers for an Ember Fiend. So we've got, I think, 2 Valkyries back here. They're going to keep that Phoenix alive, so it's doing that frontal cone AoE damage that's percentage based to all of these units, with the exception of the Earth Elementals that are immune. That's why the Draining Spirits are there. They're going to be able to grind through the Earth Elementals, and they'll especially shine in the second and third phases when they pop. The Archers are designed to focus fire on whatever unit is up front, and any unit that breaks away and gets up on these Valkyries, those Archers are going to nuke through pretty quickly. So occasionally you'll have a weird pop from an Earth Elemental, or a Dire Wolf might get wrapped around and might aggro onto the Valkyries. So here we go. Okay, you'll notice 1 Dire Wolf sneaks through, but the Archers just shred it. Everything else is getting that burn damage. Now the Phoenix is gonna kind of not shine as much at this point, but we don't need it to. We've already taken care of 90% of the units. So now it's, oh, and see, little Earth Elemental pops over, but the Archers are able to clear it out. That's what's really handy about them. If you tried to use hammer throwers or something like that, they'd just be too close, and they'd pull more units than you'd care to have. So even though the Archers, I think, do slightly less damage than the hammer throwers, they're still safer because they're further away. All right, so that was 389. Let's do 390. Okay, so sorry in advance for the jostling. I couldn't retake this one. I guess I could try and do it on my other account, but we're just going to roll with it. There's going to be a lot of shaking that occurs once we hit Frenzy, because this Jormag clone is just going to be pounding over and over and over again, and it's going to shake the entire screen. So, just be prepared for that. Don't get seasick or anything. We have, let's see, 2 Mind Corruptors. We have 1, 2, at least 3 Frost Wizards. I don't know if there's another one camping out in there somewhere. And then we've got 5 groups of Righteous Defenders, and obviously the Jormag clone. He emanates a freezing pulse that will freeze units. So we've got the Earth Elemental, which is immune to freeze, to hold that position. It's also immune to mind control, so we don't have to worry about the mind corruptors snagging it before my assassins can take them down. So again, assassins there to take out the mind corruptors and then work on whatever else they can. Anything else is a bonus. All I really care about is getting rid of those mind corruptors. We've got a druid to both heal and provide the defensive buff to the Earth Elemental, and the Valkyrie to provide the consistent stream of heals. And then we've got an Ember Fiend and an Arcane Archer in the back. What might have been better instead of the Arcane Archer is just to do a set of regular archers. You just have to be careful because it might aggro some of the Righteous Defenders, because the pathing on this is odd. Even if that Earth Elemental is like 5 feet away, if there's something directly in front of whatever unit it is, it'll just run all the way down the map to get it. So you got to be careful because archers will have a wider vertical spread. Okay, so that's the thought there. And again, please brace yourself for the shaking. It's not pleasant, but you'll kind of get the idea. You don't have to watch all the way through if it messes with you. Okay, so we got the Mind Corruptors. Everything else is converged on that Earth Elemental. The Ember Fiend's doing some consistent burn damage to get those down. And once we get to the Jormag clone, it probably would have been way better to have had a set of regular archers over the Arcane Archer. Okay, this is where it's going to start getting a little shaky. Okay, sorry. It's going to get really shaky. And there goes my Earth Elemental, but it's got the 2nd and 3rd stages to hold everything. So there it is. All right. That took us through 390. Thank you for watching. Again, please do like and subscribe. Also, check out the commandtable.com, where we have tutorials, raid strategies, and at some point in the not too distant future, we'll have merch and a comic strip for you. Thanks for watching. We'll have more for you soon.